Who wants to be a millionaire? Sad day in America. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, July the 26th. And what's going on, everybody? Well, very sad day yesterday with the passing of Regis Philbin, 88 years old, so he did live a full life, but of course always sad to lose an icon, the author of or the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And of course, as we look at the day traders, they all want to be millionaires. We're back. We're back to the 90s again. Everybody's making a fortune trying to buy into this market, and there is no stopping it until it does. Okay? Always remember that the markets will go until they don't, and then they'll reverse, and then there'll be a lot of sad crying in the streets as the bull market ends. And again, we're not predicting it. I mean, we're long. So again, I don't want to say that we're predicting anything, but again, we know we've seen this movie before. You know, when you start seeing additional products being added so that people can trade them, more unemployed people are now day trading than ever before. You can see about the number of accounts that are being opened. It just sends you a message. It doesn't mean anything today. Again, you know, remember the 90s. This is no different. At some point, it will find equilibrium, and of course, there'll be a major meltdown. Now, there are some of the major experts out there are calling this the greatest bear market rally of all time. It's hard for me to call this a bear market rally because at the end of the day, all right, we're up since the lows of 08. We're 4 times up. So I don't know, but whatever it is, again, it will indeed pass as it does done in history, and it indeed will go way down again, and the bubble will burst, and of course, once again, it will rebuild. But again, as we told you and warned you about these earnings coming out, they were already predisposed to be horrible, and they were, but they weren't as bad as expected. They were better than expected because, of course, companies have an interesting knack of under-promising and over-delivering to make sure that you're in there chasing up their stocks. So again, I say to you, just be careful. I'm always invested, in my IRA. I'm hedged all the time, but I'm always invested. So my point to you is just very simple. Okay, don't get trapped, don't get caught, and don't get lazy. Okay, because again, you see it now. It's happening, and it's happening readily. And of course, wow, look at the charges in the metals. Now, to me, that says there's something going on. Okay, to me, there's a message being sent that there's some type of news item coming out, and this is, of course, the phony, crooked central banking system around the globe, tied in with the Federal Reserve, and of course, something snarky is happening, and I would not be surprised. I said it all last week. I'm still looking for it. There's going to be some kind of news item, okay? And again, you can see the way some of the cryptocurrencies are starting to act again, and the metals, that there are some thoughts here of currency weakness, and this is always the problem when you have these imbeciles reducing values of your own currency. And again, I've said it before, I'll never understand why exports are more important for less money, because to me, value is value. But again, who am I? Okay, look, all I know is it takes a lot more money to live the same way you lived in 1985. So that's all I know. That's the only comparison I can give you. Okay, I don't know. I'm going to listen. It is what it is. It is the economy. We'll go with it. But to me, there's something wrong that we have to have continued manipulation from from the central banks or from the Fed to continue to manipulate around these markets. That's, again, there's nobody could ever convince me otherwise. Okay, and of course, speaking of that, valuations. Are they high? I don't know. Are they? Again, you have to remember that the valuations are only in comparison to what the market is supporting today. Okay, it's like the PE ratio, price to earnings. Well, what does it matter? What is the price to earnings ratio? What is the proper price to earnings ratio? There is none. Okay, it's what the market decides at the time that it's doing it. Okay, so are our valuations high? Well, I'm sure some are very high, but even if the multiple of the S&P now is, let's say, 23, and I don't know what the number is, but let's just say it's 23, and historically it's 18, it'll probably at some point revert back to 18, but it could go to 30 first. So don't get yourself caught up in a knot trying to figure out when the top is coming in. Enjoy the run, and when it's time, then get ready to reverse and do the other thing, which is one of the reasons why you should always be hedged, and then you won't have to worry about any of this crap. Okay? But again, don't think that you're smarter than the market and you can understand when the valuation is supposed to change or what they're supposed to be, because they're only supposed to be what the market delivers. Remember, if you understand a true price discovery market, valuations are that come from the same thing. Supply, demand, or buyers buying and sellers selling, and at what prices they'll exchange wealth. That's what it really comes down to. So, hey, I think Friday afternoon, President Trump did a great thing, and of course, some executive orders on drug prices, and I think that again is something that's big time because, look, we know the problem with the health industry in this country. We know the problem with what's going on in the rip-off and overpriced, and it's about time that somebody stood up and said it's enough, and I think it's enough because basically, no matter what they do, we always paid for it. This is what I don't think Americans understand is you're always paying for it, okay? So isn't it about time that we paid the same price as Mexico or Canada or anywhere else in the world, okay? And let the drug companies quit screwing us. I think that's only right, and I'm happy to see it. And of course, the right to try, there's nothing better. If you're in danger of your life and you have no out, okay, it's great to have an opportunity. And of course, I have personal experience with my partner, okay, the Badger, who was able to extend his life 3 years because of the right to try. Okay, so again, I believe in the right to try. It's your life. Why should the government decide whether I should live or die based on some ridiculous policies? Okay, look, this COVID is starting to pick up again. And I don't know, again, I will continue to say, I don't really know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. Okay, but I do know statistics, I do know numbers, and I do know this, okay, that kids should be in school, at least the kids under 15, because the death rate even this year is higher from the flu for that age group than it is from COVID. Now, again, what we're really stealing from, let's say, kids under 10 or under 8, somewhere around there, is we're stealing their emotional development and their social skills. Not their learning. Look, we can always learn, but if we don't learn skills that'll help us learn better, and I believe that, look, I know there's a lot of teachers out there, some of the older, that obviously should be concerned, okay? But, I'm in the high risk group. I'm over 60. But at the end of the day, okay, there are teachers that are willing to teach, okay? And I think that even if they make classes bigger, they should send those kids back to school to let them develop their social skills. Yes, older kids can, if they're going to work, listen, older kids, they can do it online. And if they're not going to do it online, they're probably the same kids that don't do it in school either. So again, I get that part. Listen, obviously we'd like to see everybody go back to school, but you cannot steal the childhood and the development. And I think this is where those on the left are making a massive mistake all over an election, trying to steal back an office that they lost, and they're not going to win it this time either. When you're running somebody who's dementia loaded, cannot answer anything that is not scripted. Okay, so again, I think that the mistake here is showing the true hatred for America. Okay, and the true hatred for the current president, and I believe that to be a mistake as well. But we'll talk about a little bit in my commentary. But when you look at some of the things that are going on. Again, you cannot punish children like this. And you're not only punishing the children, but you're punishing the parents who are now forced to stay home and not go to work, which creates more of these closures, more of this lack of business, more of the stress that is on the economy. And I know that they're probably going to find another stimulus plan here. I know there's been some workings on it, but the stimulus plans are wrong. Okay, you want stimulus? Do a tax cut. Do a tax-free, no payroll tax. Force people to go to work. Quit paying people more money to sit home and do nothing than if they went to work. Okay, we need to get America working again. Okay, that is as simple as we can make it. And again, if you don't think we're not building up another potential big short, okay, well, let's give you some easy numbers. Home sales are exploding. Prices are exploding again. Okay, now again, where's that money coming from? Okay, where are the people, since we're not working, where's the money coming from? Okay, and of course it's coming from you, and it will come from you and me eventually. The banks are allowed to lend, and they're allowed to lend at with no reserve. Okay, they don't care because again, the more they lend out, they don't have to get paid back all of it. They just have to get paid a portion of it. They're still going to make money. So, and they know that they'll get bailed out once again. So what do they care? So again, I think the fiscal responsibility of the central bank system and the Feds is ridiculous. That's, again, an opinion. Doesn't make it fact. Okay, certainly an opinion. But I think that, are we in the irrational exuberance stage again? Yeah, we're probably pretty close. But I don't predict markets. I mean, again, I believe this is a bubble. Okay, I believe it will pop. But who the hell knows when? One of the big things you always have to remember, okay, is that news is garbage that is reported and the numbers can be manipulated, okay? So that, I think, is something that we have problems with. We know that there's going to be so many businesses. So many of your friends that had small businesses are going to be out of business. And I think it's a tragedy. And I think that is a bigger tragedy than anything, is the destruction of small business, which happens to play right into the hands of the current people on the left side of the exchange, okay, that are trying to put all these people out of work. They're trying to create a much bigger, more dependent America until they decide to stick it to them. And we've seen this movie over and over again. So again, let's see what happens. In the meantime, okay, baseball's back. Very exciting. Okay, it's hard with no fans in the stadium, but games are faster and it's back. So at least there's some entertainment. Basketball is coming back. Yes, there's some things to worry about, but hopefully we'll get through it. There'll be some developments and we'll be ready to rock and roll. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horwitz. We're going to step out of a break and we'll be right back with more Bubba's Bottom Line after the break. So kids, what's up? Well, we did a great webinar yesterday on our day trading futures, part-time day trading. If you'd like to check out the webinar, it's free. Just send me an email, bob@bubbatrading.com. And of course, don't forget about our great brokerage partners. I have brokerage accounts at more than one place, but when it comes down to my letter of direction trading, I love CTG. They take care of it for me. They do it timely. They do it correctly. And I never have any problem. Customer service come up, boom, I get through to them. So they handle my stuff. They've got some great new products of their own, okay, which I think they're a great little company, and I'm fully supportive of them, okay. And of course, obviously, I feel the same way about Tradier, okay, Tradier Brokerage. Again, I always ask the same question. It's $10 a month. Why would you want to go anywhere else than Tradier, okay? Same products, everything. You're doing the same thing somewhere else. Why would you want to pay more for it? Okay. So my words are to you is, hey, they got great customer service as well. We don't get involved with people that don't have good customer service. And we find out later that the customer service stinks, we get rid of them too. Again, we don't, me, okay, I do not stand for it, but I've never had a problem with either one. So again, you want information either one, just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. I'll send you a special link for both of them. In the meantime, our new relationship with Family Farm is really exciting. I mean, again, I did a webinar last week. I'll have the recording tomorrow if you'd like it. But I'm also going to Nebraska with them. I mean, really exciting, and I'm really. It's a great entree for me to help farmers out, because again, I'm tired of seeing them get knocked over by a bunch of slick salesmen. So, and of course, our commodity report. Andy Heck does a marvelous job. The report is unbelievable. It's been spot on. You got to check it out. It's available at Technimental, okay, on BUBBATrading.com. And certainly, we encourage you to check it out. It is the best report I've ever seen written in the commodity space. So certainly, Andy Heck's Technimental at BUBBATrading.com. And don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/BubbaTrading. That's patreon.com/BubbaTrading. Let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, July the 26th. And of course, markets, they were maybe a little cranky last week. I mean, we're long all the indexes now. Okay, Dow, Russell, S&P, and NASDAQ. And again, at the end of the day, am I thrilled? Nah, not necessarily. But am I going to fight it? No, I don't. Again, I believe that it's easier to understand your emotional side. It's easier to understand that you have the opportunity to reverse when the tide reverses versus trying to outguess, outsmart, outthink. Okay? So again, I do believe we're in a bubble. I do believe we're going to make new lows again this year. However, it doesn't mean it's going to be tomorrow. It could be 6 months from now. Who knows? I don't know. Why can't it be 6 months? That's a little bit long. That puts us in next year. But again, it could be the fourth quarter. And I might be wrong. I'm going to stay with what we do until it changes. And why would I want to fight that? Okay? Why would I want to fight a model that's up over 100%? So again, I'm telling you, just saying to you that, again, learn not to fight. Learn to be ready to move when the time suggests, not your opinion. Okay? Gold and silver and platinum, oh my goodness gracious, going to Pluto. Now again, to me that indicates there's something going on, but from a pricing standpoint, I mean, we got long platinum. Actually on a sell-off on Tuesday, which was great. But I mean, forget about, I don't really ever care about entries, but here they're going to the moon. And silver's not getting to an all-time high anytime soon. I mean, it's like $50. But certainly I see 25 close by. I think you make a new high in gold. Again, I think so platinum's got a chance to get to 1,000 or a little bit higher. Again, we'll see. I'm not going to predict. I don't predict markets. Okay, I give you my opinion, and I don't see any reason to believe that we're not going to see some action here now, and action, some favorable action. Okay, I mean, again, we're long, so why would I think differently at the moment? So I am talking my own book, but I am telling you straight because I tell you every day where I'm at. Oil, I continue to hate oil, but it did hold up and it did rally a little bit again last week. Again, it's not exploding, but I will say this to you now. Oil is in a position now, based on the charting, that it's going to make a huge move. Now, it could be up. Again, look, we're long, but I believe the next big move is down. However, I'm not going to fight it, as I always tell you. I don't like it, but I'm in it. And that goes the same for bonds too. Bonds continue to bring lower interest rates, and it's hard to understand why rates keep falling with such a high demand for money, to borrow. So to me, again, that's always something that I find concerning. But again, I'm not going to argue. Look, I'm just going to collect the money. How's that? All right, copper kind of is like the NASDAQ, right? It looks like it's ready for a potential trend change. We're still long copper, but it had some wild swings last week. And again, those are usually signs of something more than just wild swings. Usually they're signs of a potential trend reversal. And again, we'll see how that does indeed play out in time. Right now, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to continue to stay in the positions we have. And of course, natural gas we're now short, but it's kind of just range bound, just swinging back and forth. So we'll see. You can see the contango formation, but of course it's usually more expensive in the wintertime anyway, so we'll see how that works out from there. Dollar is getting smashed, which we're short dollars. Euro currency is going to the moon, the euro currencies are going to the moon. They're spiking higher, but again, I think the euro currency is going below par. It's not below $1 at some point right now, but it's right now. Look, right now it's going up, so why should I tell it differently? That's why I always want to ask you is, who am I to say that you can't do that? And that's what I think you have to always remember in your investing is, why should you be different? Okay, why should you try to tell the market what it should do when let's let it do what it's going to do? And the dumbest report, or one of the dumbest reports in history, came out Friday for cattle, okay, called Cattle on Feed. And of course, again, I don't understand it. How can they release a report on a Friday afternoon with no market and no market opening until Monday? I can't comprehend that. Reports are supposed to be open into liquid markets. In the meantime, as I wrote all day Friday, the report would be probably neutral bullish based on the price action. Of course, I think it was neutral bullish. And of course, we're still long fats and feeders, or live and feeder cattle. And I expect them to go higher. I think they both close near support on the week. And of course, we would look for higher prices. Hogs, we're still short. Although I do believe that we're getting very close to reversing, and I'm very believable that we're going much higher. And of course, I'd like to be a buyer of hogs here anyways, but again, I am short until I'm not. And the grains, they've been struggling, and of course, there's the story with China's buying more from Brazil. Look, China goes to price almost always. This is not new. Again, everybody's always trying to make a big deal about where they're buying. There's an oversupply of grains in the major growers. Okay, that's it. So they're gonna go for price. I mean, they're still buying our goods, just not as much of it. Okay, but again, they will buy. They will be back, and of course, eventually they'll be forced to buy, even if they have to buy it through a third party. Again, the pricing problem here, in my opinion, is not the trade war. The pricing problem here is oversupply. Not enough demand, and too much. I know events that have disrupted supply. We'll see. In the meantime, we're short corn and beans, long wheat. And again, I'd like to be long corn, and I think we'll be getting long beans here shortly. I expect them to go higher anyways. So we'll see how those trade out. But in the meantime, again, don't try to predict the markets. Just trade the markets the way they are. And again, your job is to try to be in the path of least resistance, So, look, we know there's a lot of things going on. We see the excitements from the potential virus cure. Okay. In the meantime, look, we're in a bubble. It doesn't matter. Markets will go up until they don't. So again, I urge you to be hedged, be protected, always, whether you're a farmer, whether you're an equity trader. If you're hedged and protected, it doesn't matter what I think or what happens next. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. We're going to step by here for a break. We'll come back with my commentary right after the break. What's up? Well, listen, we've always got good stuff for the Bubba Bottom Line people, and of course, our brokers are great. I mean, everybody who's ever used them has been totally in love with them because they do such a great job. I mean, I get more glowing letters about CTG and Tradier, about what a good job they do on a weekly and a daily basis. Again, CTG does all of our letter of direction trading, and of course, they handle a bunch of stuff, plus others. They do self-direct as well if you want to self-direct. They are great. They have great customer service, and they also have some new products on their own, so I think you ought to check them out. Tradier for equities and options. Again, I ask the same question, $10 a month. How can you pass it up? Plus, they've got great customer service, great folks over there. I love them. I've got other accounts, but the two accounts I use predominantly are CTG for futures and commodities and Tradier for equities and options. And, family farms, really exciting relationship. I'm excited to building this over the next few years. And of course, our commodity report from Andy Hecht, there's no report better, okay, when it comes to commodities. And not only does Andy give you the commodity, but he also gives you an ETF usually that corresponds if you don't want to be in the actual physical commodities themselves. Check it out. Go to BubbaTrading.com. Technomental. It's a great report. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. We're going to get back now for my commentary. Welcome back. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz, and of course, every week I give you my commentary and get a bunch of nasty emails and a bunch of nasty letters when I do, but hey, I can take it. I'm a big boy. Well, look, we're back in this. Sports are back, which is great. I mean, baseball, I mentioned earlier, baseball's back, which is great. But I think that, we're back on this debate and the national anthem. And look, I defended Colin Kaepernick as much as I hated it when he did it. I still believe it's the wrong venue to protest because I think it creates more anger, as much of the protesting does anyways, because again, a lot of the protesting isn't about equity, the equal rights part of it. It's actually about being combative and creating more problems. Okay. So again, I think a lot of this is more about trying to get the president out versus actual real beliefs. And I think it was an embarrassment that the New York Liberty and Seattle Storm, I believe they're called, walked off the court during the national anthem yesterday. I think that's an embarrassment to this country. I think they embarrass themselves as being idiots. But again, that's my opinion. I'm entitled to, just like they're entitled to walk off. Okay. But I have no problem with what baseball's doing. They've been kneeling before the national anthem. I think on the first opening game Thursday night, they all held a rope, both teams. Listen, I have no problem with the good of trying to get and better yourselves. Okay. I have a problem with those that use this for other issues, not the issues that are at hand. I think that is criminal. I think that is a tragedy. And if you hate America that much, okay, get the hell out. That's what I say to you. If you don't like America, if you don't like what's going on here, do something to make it better or get the hell out. Don't just sit there and be a whining, complaining protester. There's a lot that all of you can do and all we can do to make it better and to make up for the things that might have been done in the past. But creating violence and looking like an idiot is not one of them. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I always thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow, whoever comes back to that. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you later.